Today on Limmy Bashes, it's lights, camera, action. Today on Limmy Bashes, I am going to be putting the lights on with my wagon. So I've got some big square Hella fog lights to fit. I've got some single line LED ones. I've got these big 9-inch bad boys. And I've got this big King's twin row, I think it's 22-inch LED light bar. So first I've got to figure out where to mount everything, and then figure out how, and then wire them in. I forgot I've also got, I can get these out of the box, I've got some 2x3 LED work lights. So I think I'll chuck 2 of them on the back and maybe 2 on the side with the awning, or yeah, see how that goes. What I have connecting my rear work lights. The passenger side one wired up how I'm going to do it. So I've got a male and female coming off the supply and the reverse, so it can't get mixed up. And I'm going to tee off the vehicle wiring to go to the other side rather than run another one down through that rubber boot where I've got this one going through to go inside. So I'm going to tee it off onto this side here. I'm going to run it all nice and neat up along there on the roof rack over to the other side, and she'll be mint. Hey, beautiful. I think that's probably enough for tonight. I'm going to go and have some dinner now. I've mounted and ran the wiring for my rear mounted work lights, and I've mounted and wired up my spotties, which actually came with a really nice, easy plug-and-play harness to just plug straight into the high beam globe, so they can only come on with the high beams. And I've wired my fog lights in. I wired them in the other night, so they can only come on with the low beams. So you don't really want your fog lights on while you've got spotties on, or high beams, because that's kind of counterproductive. So they're all wired up the front. I just got to wire in the light bar on the roof, which I've mounted. So that's nice and secure, not going anywhere. Just got to obviously wire that up tomorrow and finish running the wiring for, which I've got hanging here. That's for the rear work lights. I've got to figure out how I'm going to have them powered up and switching wires and stuff like that. But as for tonight, that's done. So I'll see you tomorrow, which is now. And as I said, I'm back out here today, which is tomorrow as of yesterday from the first bit of the vid. So today I'm going to run the wiring for the rear work lights. I'm going to run it up along the inside of the roof skin, along the passenger side of the body, and then across the front, and then down the A-pillar on the driver's side down to the footwell somewhere. Once I've figured out a switch, if I can find one around here somewhere, or whatever I have to do with that. And then I'll get on to wiring up the light bar. So come with me on this magical journey. Now that I've actually run the wiring for the rear lights, I've got it all nice and neatly. It's up in there, you can't even tell it's in there. It goes straight through this boot, straight through into the interior of the top of the roof. It runs in along that skin all the way down to the front. And then across, you can only see it poke out a little bit there, and it runs across into the front skin, runs across to the driver's side, and then down the A-pillar on the driver's side and into the footwell at the minute. So I've still got to figure out the switching and stuff like that, but as for now, I can start putting the roof lining back in. So after much messing around with wires, I have got my work light on the passenger side. I'm only mounting one to the front because that's all I reckon I'll need. I've got my work light here, and I've got my wiring running along that front crossbar of the roof rack, and that'll be running down the same spot as the light bar, which is running along around this corner, down this leg, with the work light from the other side. They both run down in under the seal, which runs down the A-pillar into the engine bay. That's as far as I've got so far, because I've still got to run all those wires in there and mount relays and all that sort of stuff. As for mounting of the switches, the work lights on the side and the back, and the light bar on the roof rack, and the spotties on the front will all be running into this little section here, which is under the aircon vent on the driver's side. So I'm going to have spotties, light bar and work lights, or whatever way around I put them. I'm going to move, I'm going to have the fog light over there, which is here at the moment. I'm going to move that over there, and I'm going to have the work lights here with the diff lock and the traction control switch. So all my working off-road stuff is going to be here, and then just all my lighting stuff's going to be on this side here. So I've still got to figure out how to wire up my work lights to this little switch, which has a signal. I don't know what I'm signaling off at the moment, but cross that bridge when I come to it, I guess. But for now, I've got to move the fog light switch over there, which means cutting the 1,000 cable ties of the extra 600 meters of wire that I've got looped up under the dash for that loom. And then I've got to run my wires from the engine bay for the work lights and the light bar through the grommet in the firewall, which already has about 6,000 wires going through it as well. So it's going to be fun. So pumped. But once I've got everything working, it's going to be sick. Well, that's the end of one hell of a long day out here wiring up these lights, but I finally got them all done. I got my sick little side trim here. This is just next to the steering wheel, so I've got my fog on the outside because it's probably the most commonly used. I got my spotties in the center, and then my light bar on the left. Then over this side, I've got my diff lock switch, my work lights, and traction control. So I think I'm gonna wire in the work lights. I'm gonna wire in a switch somewhere that I can turn off constant power and turn it on like an isolator, because I don't know how much that's gonna draw. Probably not a lot, but leaving it on over the weekend or whatever, it'll probably drain it. So might come up with something there. But apart from that, one little problem that I have to sort out, that's the lights done, finished. So now I've got some ALLLLL spotties, a ALLLLL light bar, and some sick little work lights on the side and on the back. So for now, see you later.